Hello everyone, I am Toby the Kilted Adventurer. Today we're going to tour Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. So let's go and have some fun. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary first opened its wooden doors in 1896, built by the hands of the original 210 inmates. The place was stoned by prisoner labor in 1934. Brushy was Tennessee's only maximum security prison for 113 years, housing the state's most hardened criminals. Serving an average 200-year prison term in the early days, the worst of the worst walked through these doors knowing one thing: they would never be walking out. The stone-cold fortress bears witness to notorious crimes and more than a few nightmarish deaths of some 278,000 tortured souls. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. You've truly reached the end of the line. The hole was literally hell on earth. Brushy opened in 1896. The hole housed disobedient and dangerous inmates for days, weeks, or even months at a time. The hole wasn't just about solitary confinement of a 6 by 3 by 8 foot space. It was far worse. Inhabitants were once treated to suspension torture. They were tied by their thumbs to pulley cords hanging from the ceiling, toes, barely touching for up to 30 minutes. This went on until 1905 when the practice was deemed humane by the State Senate Commission panel. While the size of the hole increased to 4 by 8 by 10, the new prison opened in 1933. It was still a dreadfully dark dungeon, containing just a mattress and 2 buckets, one for fresh water, the other for toilet.
So when you did something that got you dumped in the hole, you better believe you've done something that was worth sending you to a special kind of hell. You think you can't be broke? Well, you better think again, friend. Once you're here, it starts to creep in on you. It's just you and pitch black darkness. It's the loneliest place in the world.
Brushy was notorious for its dangerous housing and labor conditions. One of the most notable and unfortunate facts of prison life is the manner in which guards doled out disciplinary action. Whippings were commonplace, carried out using a 4-foot leather strap attached to a baseball bat handle. Prisoners were beaten until welts appeared, and then again and again until those blisters were broken. Screams were routinely heard by the townsfolk of nearby Petros, and countless prisoners slept on their stomachs until their wounds healed. Whippings were officially outlawed at Brushy in 1965 when the warden declared the act to be inhumane. D-Block was maximum security built in 1957. This was used as isolation cell quarters for the prison's most difficult and deadly criminals. Dubbed the New Hole after the old hole built under the laundry was shut down in the 1960s. D-Block's maximum security residence had more restrictions than inmates living on death row in Nashville. Prisoners were stripped of all privileges and possessions except their uniforms and bedding. In reality, D-Block was not a hole, just a smaller version of blocks A and B, with 4 walks housing 8 single cells on each walk. The blocks had triple locks to prevent access to the other 3 walks. Despite the heavy security measures, D-Block remained a constant site of violence and bloodshed until the new high-security annex building was opened on the hill in 1989. Today, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary is known for having previous guards and inmates as tour guides. Our unofficial tour guide for this trip was a man named George. He spent 2.5 years of his life as an inmate in the 1980s. George said, "It's nothing I'm proud of, but at least now I get to go home every night." George shared information of his experiences in the coal mines, working on the yard, and in the prison. This is truly a reminder to me of God's grace and forgiveness for all of us. There, but for the grace of God, go I.
You look and see how that cutout was back in the day. That's how they went through. The inmates would go through that solid port gate there. If you look and see how that holler sort of rose to your left, that's one of the coal mines is right there. There's 4 on this ridge here, and there's 3 on this ridge over here.
Wow.
See, back then, the state Tennessee used inmates for free labor.
Mm-hmm.
They used them for free labor is what they done as the state of Tennessee for you. See, when I was here, there was concertina wire all the way around. See where that angle iron is on the wall there, sir?
Yes, sir.
That was electric fence there.
Oh, wow.
You think of something hot, you think of red or orange being hot.
Mm-hmm.
It would be green, and you'd hear it. You had to do it humming. They said if you touched it, you'd be lucky if your fuse was left on.
Wow.
See, when I first come in here, I'm on the yard crew. Consisted of 5 of us, 2 push mowers. It take 2 days to push mow this whole summer gun, and I may get sunburnt, something terrible. Guess what? I was locked up myself.
Penitentiary Museum is definitely a must-stop. You can see many exhibits, including many examples of contraband and shanks. One of Brushy Mountain's most infamous prisoners was James Earl Ray. Ray confessed to the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on March 10, 1969. After pleading guilty, he was sentenced to 99 years in prison. On June 10, 1977, Ray and 6 other convicts escaped Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. They were recaptured on June 13. A year was added to Ray's previous sentence, increasing it to 100 years. Cells for A and B block are 4 stories tall, known to insiders as the street. The walk wasn't just a passageway, but a potential death trap too. Several brutal occasions, men pushed fellow inmates to their deaths over the railing. One infamous incident, a Memphis gang member turned inmate met his fate on 3 walk, when 2 men grabbed him from behind and stabbed him in the neck. He was quickly tossed over the rail. He landed on 2 guards standing below. It was suspected the violent act was meant to send an intimidating message not only to the fellow prisoners, but also to prison staff. Afterwards, floor-to-ceiling cage walls were erected to help prevent such horrific events from happening again. The large field behind the prison at the base of the steep mountain cliffs was known as the Yard. Besides offering a scenic view of life beyond the cell block, it was a place of exercise and socialization. Over the years, it served as both a groomed golf course with greens comprised of sand and a baseball park complete with bases, home plate, and a pitcher's mound. Town folk would attend the games between the guards and the inmates, some of whom could tag a man on third with a 300-foot throw. Though it conveyed a sense of freedom, prisoners like James Earl Ray, who famously jumped the wall at the right rear corner, learned that they couldn't outrun both guards and locals who knew the land like the back of their hands. Despite the nice view and a few good games, the Yard would always be at the bottom of hell they could never escape. Brushy Mountain Prison closed on June 11, 2009. Its functions were transferred to the Morgan County Correctional Complex. In 2018, Brushy Mountain was reopened to the public for tours, private events, car shows, concert. Brushy also houses a distillery that produces moonshine, vodka, whiskey, and liqueurs. Thanks for joining me today on this excursion. Remember to give me that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, seek adventure.